I kind of miss the VR, the thrill, you know. Been a
Oh
long
yeah,
time.
no. I mean, this is as close to it as I get now.
Yeah.
I just keep. I'm sorry. I keep laughing. I keep thinking of stuff from the rehearsal that makes me laugh.
Yeah.
It's just like when he's driving with the guy and he's got his phone on his lap and he's looking at the GPS and the host says, "Can I hold that for you?" And he says, "No, don't worry about it. I drive like this all the time."
Oh.
But his
no.
like origin story for becoming a born again Christian was crashing a Scion TC at 100 miles an hour.
Oh my god. I've done that like once when I was in a situation where like I didn't know the turn coming up and I didn't have my phone in the right spot and it was in my lap and when I looked down I was like, I'm gonna die. Like this is horrible. Who would
It's scary, man.
cannot imagine doing that every time.
I'm glad I grew up, like I learned to drive before cell phones were a thing. I've never even been tempted to look at my phone while driving. And then, well, so we had like a built-in GPS. And then when our car got robbed, the fuckers stole the SD card. So rather than get another SD card and like get the data for the city again, I just learned how to drive like a taxi driver. So now I can get around the city without even needing any GPS, probably just like really, really inefficiently compared to what the roads would do for, what the GPS would do for us. But so I feel like I'm on kind of like sicko mode right now.
I learned from my mother not to text and drive because she was a serial phone user while driving. And I hated it, yeah. And I was like, I'm never gonna do this.
There's like few worse feelings than being in somebody's car when they're driving badly and just being like, I hope I don't die.
Yep.
Insane. First place?
Yeah,
oh my god.
You know, my mom, I love her to death, but she drives like a actual freak. Like just kind of diving in between lanes, passing everyone, kind of.
Hate that.
Yeah, everyone hated him. That's why everyone in the family is now a super safe driver. All of the kids are super safe.
I do. I have a friend. I haven't driven with him in like 10 years. And it's not Malv, but Malv knows who it is. He drives, like never touches anything but the passing lane. And is always just wanting to do 10 kilometers an hour faster than the person in front of him. And gets right up, no matter what the weather, gets like right on their bumper. And then starts to get agitated. It just goes like, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. And then they move over into the passing or into the slow lane, and he goes, and like, it's scary.
That's no fun. Just because like driving fast helps you a lot when you're on like a road trip, right? You're driving like 8 hours.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to go like 10, 15 over the speed limit, you're actually gonna save a lot of time. But like when you're just going like a 20-minute drive,
yeah,
you're
just
saving
gotta chill.
like seconds. You're only saving like 20 seconds or less. Like
just listen to it like half of one more song.
Yeah, just drive normal, you know. Ugh.
No, it's bad everywhere. Like I don't know. I bet it's worse in Texas.
Oh, dude, it's not
to be rude,
says,
but like
it's bad here. Yeah. But like I think it's bad everywhere. I think you can ask anyone. They're like, oh, like how's the traffic / driving? Oh, it's horrible here, and you know. It's just everyone sucks at driving.
Well, like there's different flavors that I've noticed at least. Like in BC, they're incompetent. Like you just well, at least in Vancouver, multiple times per day, you'll just be like, you don't know how to drive. What are you doing? Like you've somehow gotten your car onto like a protected bike path, and now you can't figure out how to get out of it because there's a bike behind you. And are you dead? Oh, thank God.
No. TTV Spoiling tried to kill me, and it's meant his untimely demise.
But then on like northwestern Washington, I'm like, the drivers are just really aggressive. Like they seem competent, but they're like, I know it's a monsoon, but like I'm trying to go 80 instead of 70, so like get the hell out of the way. But then the fucking, we don't need to get into it too much, but the design of the highway on I-5 is fucked up because you're not allowed to move into the left lane, supposedly, unless you're passing. But then there's a fucking on-ramp like every 100 meters, so you're constantly like, oh, I'm going to move over in the left lane to let the people on the on-ramp get over. And then somebody in a early Gen 1 Tesla Model S who has a novelty license plate like Rip Oil is on your ass like, get out of the way, and then you're trying to move over to the other lane, but then there's another on-ramp coming up, and it's just like it never ends.
Dude, this is too real. It's too real, man. Nothing's worse than like, oh god, nothing's worse than the fucking when you're like you kind of come out of an exit, like a left exit, and you're in the left lane, and you're like, oh, I have to get over into the right lane because I don't really want to go fast, so I'm not passing. But then you have someone on your ass just already who's like, speed up, man, and they just swerve over to the right lane to pass you, and it's like, dude, you gave me like 2 milliseconds to like make the decision to get over in the lane. Like, where do you gotta be, dude?
Yeah, drives me crazy.
And then they're mad at you, but it's like, dude, I would have gotten over if you were fucking patient at all.
I'm actually, well, okay, I give people the finger on occasion. But that's not even on the highway, I would never. In the city, I give people the finger all the time. So maybe, so what I was about to say is I'm like the nicest driver out there. That's why I put that little caveat in there early. Sorry, I'm rambling. I don't know how to stop. But anyway, if you just give me some space, I'll merge. I don't want to, there's times where I'm like, I'm going to pass some people, and then I instantly, whenever, at the safest opportunity, get back into the slow lane. But then sometimes people that are tailgating you are like, you didn't get to the slow lane fast enough, so they go into the slow lane to pass you on the right. And I'm like, well, we're just wasting each other's signal fluid right now. You didn't have to, I promise I'll get out of the way.
I almost got into an accident actually on my way to my tattoo appointment a couple weeks ago. It was like a nobody's fault situation until the other guy just wasn't paying attention, because we were like side by side but 1 car apart, basically. Okay. So like I was out at like the left of him and he was to the right of me, 1 car back, and I needed to get over. So I was like, okay, time to make the decision to get over. But we both make that decision at the same time. So he starts like speeding up at the same time that I'm like, all right, I gotta get over. And so no one's fault, it's just a bad timing type deal. But like I noticed it like almost immediately, and I'm like, oh, okay. But I did that thing where I gave him credit, because like I feel like I was kind of ahead, so I was like, okay, he needs to just slow down a little bit and we'll be fine. And you don't do that. You just don't give anyone any fucking credit as a driver, absolutely, ever. Because he just kept on speeding up. Like he wasn't even looking at his fucking like monitor / windshield.
I understand. You're also
so I had to like
right now. So
yeah, and so I had to immediately like swerve back into the lane, and I bet he was like pissed. But it's like, dude, just slow down.
I have to apologize. I played the worst game of Hexagon I've ever seen. I've needlessly fell through like 10 layers. There was no reason for it. You know what? That one was cursed. It was just cursed.
Didn't have a good go of it there.
Well, however you did, my performance was so much worse. I was just off in no man's land.
I had a bad ending there. I had to go cut that guy off, but if I wouldn't cut him off, there wouldn't have been enough spaces to live anyway. So there was no winning for me.
Yeah, I give people the finger a lot when I'm driving. But it's always for the same thing. It's always like, in a city, when you're making a left turn, sometimes you just have to wait for the light to turn yellow, because you're not going to find the space to fit in on green. And then, like, 2 cars run the red going straight, and I'm like, okay. And then a 3rd car runs it, but they run it slow as hell, so that I'm now turning left, like, 3 seconds into the opposing way's green. And then I'm like, guess what? Take one of these, bitch. You fucking asshole, idiot.
I am never interacting with other drivers ever again after what happened when Justin and me were on the way to some food. We were driving, and I will take an L here, sort of.
It happens. People make mistakes.
Yeah, so what it was, and it wasn't even entirely my fault, because here in Austin, I don't know if there's anyone else in your chat who lives here, the roads here are the most nightmarishly designed roads ever. Like, it's like every road was placed without thought for the next road. So every road is like mishmashed together in the most confusing turnways. Like, just every single other intersection is different. There was like a 5-way intersection at one point that I drove up to, and I was like, what way am I going? Like, if I didn't have my phone in front of me telling me which lane to drive into, I wouldn't have known. It split off into like a flower. Like, this is and that's everywhere, all over Austin. So there was one of those situations where I like was turning into a lane, and it was marked very poorly, and I didn't know which lane I was turning into. And so there was a guy in front of me to my right, and so I accidentally turned into his lane, and I got mad at him because I thought that it was my lane. So that was the L. I take the L because I honked at him because I didn't want to hit him. And I was like, you son of a bitch. And then I kind of realized like, oh shit, this is actually kind of my fault. But we very quickly noticed because he started slowing down and trying to line up with us. And he had a bunch of bumper stickers of
no,
of the kind you wouldn't, want to mess with, I guess, regardless of, how you feel.
Yeah,
lots of guns, let me say. And he was slowing down, and I went, no, I'm not. I slowed down. I pulled up to the next light behind him to the left. So like I left a car's length in front of me, just like, nah, dude, I'm not engaging with this.
I love that.
If you want to, but yeah, that was like, okay, you know what? It's just not worth it. It's not worth it to be mad at anyone. Because you're gonna get one guy who, has a rifle in his backseat, who's like,
yeah,
oh, okay, today's the day. You gave me the excuse.
Yeah, this is generally my approach to conflicts. But I feel like I'm not that worried about it from giving someone the finger, especially, I guess, in Canada. Because I'm like, if they took a second to, like, pull out a weapon, I'm gone. I'm hitting the gas.
The problem is I was, like, in the city, like, with, like,
yeah,
bumper-to-bumper traffic, so there was no going anywhere.
I'm kind of like, I've been getting pedestrian rage, too. Like, I was talking about it in Squeaks' chat, but I was like, when like somebody doesn't stop for you at a crosswalk and then you memorize their license plate and people were like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then I was like, you guys don't do that? If somebody like cuts me off, if I'm about to cross at a crosswalk and then a car speeds through, in my head, I'm like, I'm repeating their license plate number. Just until I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I'm just repeating their license plate number. And then like the other day, a car cut me off at a crosswalk and then got stuck at a red light, and I pretended to take a photo of their license plate with my camera, like my phone. just like I don't know if they saw me do it, but I was like, if they're in the car, they're probably like, oh shit, I cut that guy off and now he's taking a photo of my car. Just to put the fear of God in them,
You would get shot in Texas, actually.
Why don't they just respect the right of way?
No, I mean, I agree with you. It's just like, I don't know if these are fights worth picking, man.
Oh, is it legal to take a photo of somebody's car now?
No, but you never know who's going to be in that car, man. They're just going to hop out and like with a baseball bat or something, dude. Like, there's just no reason for this.
This would make me feel better. That was the reason.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, seriously, don't do that here. Jesus Christ.
Okay, fine. I'll mind my own business over there, but...
Yeah, in Canada, you're probably fine, but...